Okay, so this video is going to be an addendum, not necessarily a fix, because I don't quite understand this yet. I think I'm faced with I don't know what I'm doing, and the program has some glitches. So I believe this is still in a beta form. It is, again, to timestamp this, it's 2024. It is August 25th. So let me show you what I did in one of the previous videos, and I mentioned in the text as after I was editing it, I realized because I messed with it a little bit further that I was wrong in what I was thinking. I didn't want to redo the video, so I just threw some text over the top. Anyways, here was the deal. So right now, I am looking through Material Preview, and I'm seeing, oh, you know what? We better get rid of that. Okay, everything's okay. All right, so watch it. So I click on Dirt 2, and I had to watch the video again because I want to make sure I picked exactly the same one, and I, so far, am able to repeat the results. But the way I get there is maybe not the right way to do it. So when this finishes, well, you can already see what's going on here. You see that there's the dark areas in the corner, and I was believing this to be the dirt because, again, well, you know, when you hover over these, you can't really exactly see what the dirt is. Anyways, I thought maybe it was just light dirt in the corners. Okay, so now check out what happened here now. So it applied an ambient occlusion layer, but what it did is it added it to my pink layer. So that's one first screw up, right? So the pink paint that was there, it added the ambient occlusion to it, and the ambient occlusion layer takes over for the color, but my material preview is still showing it. And this is not what we're going to do, but that's just a wacko mistake that happens frequently. So I'm going to undo that, and then I'm going to make a new layer. Okay, so this is so far what I did in the other video. Then I go, okay, well, this is what I want to do. Here's first thing that's kind of a glitch. I don't want to fill this. I want to get the preview, which I'm getting the preview, but I want it to ask me if I want to create an ambient occlusion layer. So what I do is I click away from it, then I click back on it, and then it will, well, do it for me. I didn't know that this button was going to do this, but when you get the ambient occlusion request pop up, it says, do you want to do this or cancel? And in the middle, it says, make default. Make what default? Well, apparently make default is apply it every single time. I'm sure somewhere, I believe somewhere in preferences, I could probably change that. I'm okay with it. So right now, it's making an ambient occlusion map. Layer 10, watch down here. It turns it all white and it locks it, okay? Now, the first part of this that this is going to get it to work in a second is I would apply a multiply blend to this, but I'm not going to do that. Am I going to do that yet? Let me show you what I did last video. So I was like, oh, geez, I don't know if that's the answer or not. And plus oh, dear God, words. So I went to go ahead and fill it, but then that's when I pointed out that the layer's locked. So I said, unlock it. And I started thinking to myself, they locked it on purpose. I don't know if I'm supposed to do this, but I kind of think you're supposed to. So watch carefully. So I go here, I unlock it, and then I said to go ahead and multiply it. Because when you multiply it, it brings back the color underneath. So then I can right click on this and say fill entire layer. And this is where the kind of issue began. This is where I was talking about there's kind of this weird thing that you see a different material in the material preview than you do on the model. So I was kind of into describing the fact that the two were different. And at the time when I was recording the video, I didn't even just let my brain focus on the outside, the stuff over here, to look at it and go, oh, wow, yeah, that's super cool. That's what I want. And I just said, no. Inside here, this lighter one, that's what I want. And I was talking about it being darker. But here's the point. It's different. It's different between these two. And so I thought it was wrong. So then I said, okay, well, here's what you need to do. We'll undo that. Okay, so I haven't applied the material preview. So then I go ahead and I add a layer, and then I fill that entire layer. Okay, And so then what I get is, well, the same thing I get in Material Preview, which is what I believed the right answer was supposed to be. But what I'm pretty certain I have right now is a multiply blend of just the ambient occlusion. The ambient occlusion layer that's the one below. So this is incorrect. This is not what I want. I want that other cool texture. I want dirt too. Okay, so let's undo that again. And essentially I'm going to do the same thing all over again. Okay, so I've just undid it to the ambient occlusion layer that was locked. Okay, so I'm going to unlock it just like I did before. Here, honestly, I'm just going to do the same thing I did first, except now I'm going to tell you that that's the right way to do it. So I go here and I say fill the entire layer. And now when it comes up with that overlay over on this side here, I'm calling that right. And there's something wrong with the Material Preview because this window seems to be glitchy. So watch this. You see? See that? And watch this. Oh, okay. So I moved it. This is a kind of a common thing with this software is I move it a tiny touch. That was in one of the videos and it wakes up. But also you notice that some other stuff is happening here as well. So the Material Preview woke up, shows me the layers over the top here, but it's also kind of blending into it the ambient occlusion layer, let's say maybe at 100%. In just the Material Preview, but you might have just caught when I take my brush here and I go over it, now it looks the same. Because at this point in time, I think what's happening is it's disabling the Material Preview because it thinks that I want to paint on it, you see? So, I'm going to stop this right here. I want this to be an addendum to the other one because I felt it was wrong. I don't quite still understand why this is. Like I said in the beginning, somewhere between a glitch and I'm not doing it right, but this is how I have it solved for myself so far.